What's going on, everybody? Welcome back for episode 27 of Hit the Books podcast. Lined up for you this week. We got NHL Trade Deadline talk, some big moves going on. NFL trading, a lot going on this week as well. March Madness, we're moving into Sweet 16. NHL playoff picture, we're coming down to the wire. Who's going to make the playoffs? I'm looking forward to the NHL playoffs. It's going to be a great time. Hopefully the Pens can make it happen. But without further ado, let's introduce the boys. Huff, Mackie, what's going on, boys? How's it going this week?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Another week back. A lot happening right now in the NFL free agency world, NHL Trade Deadline, and obviously we're now through the first weekend of March Madness. Looking ahead, we got the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 this weekend, so definitely a great weekend of sports coming up ahead of us. Mackie, what's going on with you?
Yeah, what's going on, boys? Yeah, we got March Madness. Still a lot of March Madness to be played. My bracket's still going good, so a lot to talk about there. You got the NHL Trade Deadline. There's a lot going on right now, so we've been really shitty on the card lately, but stick with us. We'll pick it up.
Yeah, last night was tough. We had a tough beat on the Rangers, having a 2-goal lead and ended up losing outright. But
you can't perform like that. It's just brutal.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more, boys. Let's jump right in. Let's start with the NFL. Some big trades going on lately. Bucks holding on to Fournette. Saints re-signing quarterback Winston. Falcons trade Matt Ryan to the Colts. Stafford gets 4-year, $160 million extension with the Rams. Steelers sign Gunnar Olszewski, 2 years, $4.2 million. Juju Smith-Schuster reached a deal with the Chiefs, 1 year, $10.75 million. What else you guys got for me?
I saw something. Go ahead.
Let's talk about Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins.
Yeah, because this is now a big thing going on where you have to start to think that the Chiefs maybe look at that deal that they got Juju on, that 1 year. You said $10 million. I've heard something where the guarantees go down to as low as $2.49 million for the deal that he got is only guaranteed. What's guaranteed on the deal. Everything that's left in the deal is incentive based, obviously, and I think one of them is the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl and him playing in so many games with the receptions and stuff like that. So, yeah, the big number on the contract for the 1 year. But a lot of that I did hear is incentive-based. But you have to think that the Chiefs look at that deal as a prove-it deal for a guy like Juju who had the injury this past season. And you have to think Mahomes and Andy Reid are thinking highly of the guy if they're going to go out and trade. If not number 1A target, 1B, however you want to say it, Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins, another team in the AFC that you're going to have to play on your way to the Super Bowl. Not saying Miami is ready to go to the Super Bowl, but just saying you're trading them inside your own conference. That's something that that shows to me at least. They look at Juju and they think Mahomes can get it done with Juju, Hardman, and Robinson, all the other guys, Allaire, Kelsey. They have all the weapons in Kansas City. That just tells me they look at it's kind of a plug and play in that offense there. That they don't necessarily feel they needed Tyreek Hill or the deal was just too good to turn down. I don't know, Mackie. What do you think?
I think they're looking for Juju to step up and take a big role on here. I mean, you had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce as the biggest 1-2 punch in the league for how many years, and now you're just going to ship them off. I think that's putting a lot more pressure on Kelce's hands because you don't have your right hand man right here anymore. But they're looking for Juju to step up into that position and probably play a role like Tyreek Hill did. Obviously, they're different players, so he can't play exactly like him. But I don't know. I think Tyreek Hill is a lot better, or Pat Mahomes is a lot better off without Tyreek Hill than Tyreek Hill is without Mahomes.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. I think, I don't know, it's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of year Juju has. I was obviously very excited to see him not necessarily leave us, but go to that team just to be able to watch a player that I like to root for and him go to a high-powered offense like that with Hill, obviously assuming that he was going to be there with him. Juju assumingly would have taken the number 2 role to Tyreek Hill, and that offense would have been crazy with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Juju. But I don't know if it was a money issue that they had to clear up space
They
necessarily.
definitely just had to clear up room. You know, they didn't want to. Same thing with the Cowboys. They didn't want to spend the money on Amari Cooper. Just free up cap space.
Exactly. And with all the, I mean, do you see the list of draft picks they got back? It's like a first this year, a second this year, a second next year, a fourth the year after.
In the long haul, it's a real good move that they made.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how Juju, like you said, steps up into this role that the Kansas City Chiefs are, expecting him to be.
I think he'll be all right. I think he's ready for this.
We'll see. I'm excited for him.
I like Juju. I know he gets a lot of hate, obviously, because of his little TikTok shenanigans, but
I never had a problem with him. I always thought he was a good player on the field.
yeah, for you to be a Pittsburgh fan and not even like love him as like, and he was your number one receiver at some point. So
Yeah. I've seen this too much with the Steelers over the past 7 years. We don't keep our receivers. They stay here for like 4 years, 5 years, and then they're lucky to get a contract here. Like you look all the way back at like the years of, Ben and Mike Wallace, and then under Mike Wallace it was Antonio Brown and Emmanuel Sanders, and then obviously that's when Sanders got the big deal to go to Denver, and that's when Mike Wallace got the big deal to go to Miami, and that's when AB slid into the number one role for obviously at 6, 7 years. I don't know how many years Antonio Brown was a Steeler. We know what happened there. That's when Juju slid into the role, and now we're going to see Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool slide into that role. And you got to think the Steelers are looking to draft someone in the next, if not this year, next year for receiver. We have a lot of holes on our defense and offense, so I think wide receiver is a year that we can take a kind of a gap position where get a couple guys to fill in the depth chart and kind of address that role next year. But I did see something they were exploring trades for Claypool or something. But I would love that. I'm not a big Chase Claypool guy, but I am also excited to see how Deontay Johnson does as the true one going into training camp with the full expectations of being the number one receiver in the NFL. But because obviously last year he went into the season behind Juju on the depth chart. Juju got the injury, and Deontay he did fix his dropping issue last season compared to the year before, it being known for all the drops and stuff like that. But Deontay, he had obviously a Pro Bowl year last year. He was one of the fill-ins, but I am excited for both of these guys, being Juju going to Kansas City and now Deontay Johnson sliding into the official number one role with the Steelers. Having Trubisky, whether it be Trubisky under center or another, while we're on the Steelers, might as well say this. I'm hearing on all these draft boards and all over ESPN that the Steelers and Pittsburgh radio that the Steelers are just obsessed with Malik Willis. And I'm hearing that they're willing to trade up to get him if they feel it's necessary. So it looks
then
like
what
the
was getting
Steelers,
Trubisky? What was getting Trubisky for?
they think if Malik Willis isn't ready, they're going to do the Trubisky deal. The Steelers got that at a very team friendly deal. They look at that as bringing the veteran in. He accepted the backup role if for some reason Trubisky comes in and maybe struggles in camp and Willis is like slinging the ball down the field. If we do end up drafting him, they're just going to battle it out. It's really going to be a quarterback battle at camp this year already between Trubisky, Rudolph, and Haskins. Not really saying Rudolph or Haskins are really in position to be the starter. Maybe obviously the presumptual starter is Trubisky, but I'm hearing that Tomlin and the Steelers general manager are obsessed with Malik Willis. But they were also at the Ole Miss Pro Day today to watch Matt Corral's Pro Day. So it's looking like the Steelers are definitely shopping quarterbacks. And I've been saying for months I want them to go offensive line to get Najee. They'll get boost the run blocking, but they have addressed that via free agency. They've brought in a couple of pieces, not really too huge, but I do think if Tomlin loves Malik Willis and he's willing to say that's my guy, I trust him. So if he's the next coming of Sean Watson or Lamar Jackson, yeah, take him with your pick. I mean, you know what I mean? Those guys know football more than me. I'm going to trust their opinion when they say this guy has talent. I can't say I watched too many Liberty games, but
Yeah.
I did watch his pro day highlights. The kid can sling the ball and he can move, so definitely would bring an excitement to to an offense that's been kind of, obviously we know the style that the Steelers played the past 17, 18 years with number 7 under center, really not moving too much around, and getting a guy like Malik Willis under center, that would really, give Tomlin free reign on the play calling, but he might take a seat behind Trubisky if Trubisky, looks better in camp, and Willis looks like he has a couple things that he could work on throughout the season under a veteran like Trubisky. It might be beneficial to a young guy like him, being only 22 years old. So, I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens with the draft, but I'm starting to want Malik Willis to be a Steeler.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be good for you guys. I haven't seen much on him, but I know he's nice mobile quarterback. So
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, all these years watching Ben, it's just like seeing all these fun mobile quarterbacks and like having to deal with the dual threat of like they can sling the ball or just move around. I'm just ready for like a new style offense. You know what I mean?
yeah, see what Tomlin can do with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally like when the Ravens went from Joe Flacco to Lamar Jackson, like complete different. You know what I mean? Like obviously
Yeah,
Flacco's not the quarterback Roethlisberger was, but Willis isn't the quarterback Jackson is. You know what I mean?
not
So
yet.
it's just exactly. It's just the comparison of the style of play, the pocket passer to compared to the mobility guy. But a lot of people are comparing Malik Willis to Deshaun Watson.
It's a good comparison, I guess.
He's getting high praise, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a good comparison to get.
Hopefully on the field comparisons.
Yeah, you wouldn't want him off the field.
We were talking receivers. Let's talk another receiver that got moved, Devontae Adams, to the Raiders.
Yeah, what do you think that does for Derek Carr and the Raiders here? I don't know. I mean, yeah, obviously he's gonna help your team out, but why are you going to a team in that division, especially the Raiders out of everyone?
I mean, like, here's my thing with Derek Carr. He's like, when I think of Derek Carr, I just think of like the max potential is like a wild card game, and like he might win it. You know what I mean? Like he's not guaranteed to win
He's
it.
not a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I mean,
Exactly. Like he might
I'm
win. He might win you a playoff game. Like 30% chance if you get there, he's gonna win the game. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because like he's been there. He has gotten to the playoffs, obviously, but when he gets there, it's just he's such an average quarterback, and it seems like over the past couple seasons that the Raiders have been kind of pushing their chips all in on getting Carr a true weapon to go to. Obviously, we know he has Waller, we know he has Jacobs in the backfield, but obviously Renfro's a very nice piece there for him. We know what happened with Ruggs, but you look at the
Imagine they still
receivers.
had Ruggs.
Yeah, but you look at the receivers that have left the Raiders organization over the past so many years. Like they drafted Amari Cooper, he got the hell out of there. Then Antonio Brown went there, pulled his little stunt, wanted the hell out of there. It's just like you have to wonder if it's a thing like these receivers not wanting to play with Carr, or if it's something else. But it certainly doesn't look good on a quarterback that all these receivers come in and leave that fast.
You know, Vegas isn't an easy city to just act normal in. You know, it's like you're a famous person in Vegas, you're gonna act out a little.
I mean, yeah, I would. But if I'm in the NFL, that's like, it's just so tough. That team is just getting such a bad rap with all these players that are getting in trouble.
Yeah, you know, Derek Carr's gotta get them in line.
I feel like there's a couple other big moves that I did want to talk about. I'm kind of blanking right now, but I have Pro Football Focus pulled up.
Deshaun to the Browns. You can talk about that.
Yeah, yeah. So I do need to pull up FanDuel. Obviously, I want to look at the odds for the AFC North. I believe the Browns are the betting favorite to win the division going into next season.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So obviously, after the Bengals losing the Super Bowl, the additions that the Browns make, bringing in Deshaun Watson, they could be the potential favorite to win the AFC North. Yeah, definitely Cleveland kind of going all in for sure. So, yeah, plus 185, the favorite to win the division. Right behind them, the Baltimore Ravens plus 200. The Cincinnati Bengals in third at plus 220. The Steelers at plus 850. in the basement of the division.
Wow, the Steelers.
Dude, they draft Malik Willis. Those odds might go down. Not like
That division's just so close. I mean, that was the
Yeah.
Bengals. That was the Bengals last year.
That's what I'm
They were
saying.
like plus 3,000. Everyone else was like plus 200.
That's what I'm saying. And if we draft Willis and he is the player that people are comparing him to, and like, you can change up that offense. Like anything can happen in this division. Same with the AFC West this year. Really, anything can happen. Like you look at the odds to win the AFC West. It's the Chiefs. Obviously, they're going to be the favorite, plus 150.
They're not. I was gonna say they're not minus, right?
Yeah, plus 150. The Chargers are plus 240, and the Broncos plus 280. Raiders plus 600 even.
Yeah, that's a closer division, I think, than the AFC North.
Yeah.
That's a crazy division. It's insanely competitive. And you got to play six divisional games. That's tough.
My two favorite quarterbacks are now in the same division, Russ and Mahomes. Because I was always hoping the past couple seasons, like obviously rooting for the Steelers, but like dream Super Bowl, that would have been sweet. I always wanted to see Russ versus Mahomes in the Super Bowl, Seattle versus Kansas City.
So who do you want to see win that division now?
I'd say Denver, just because of seeing the recent success of Kansas City, and obviously Russ not having won since 2013 and being there since 2014. I definitely want to see this new Denver team have success, but with Juju being in Kansas City, I definitely am rooting more for Russ's success in Denver than Juju's success in Kansas City. That's just because I'm a bigger Russell fan than Juju fan.
Yeah, I just still I can't see anybody but the Chiefs winning that division.
It's going to be who goes into Arrowhead and wins their game and beats them at home. It's going to be who goes 2-0 against the Chiefs and has the same record, or a game less, and you know what I mean. They win the tiebreaker or something like that.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to something like that.
They're not going to beat them outright, have a better record than them. They're going to have to beat them in the divisional record, and then it's going to come down to the divisional record. Like say the Broncos go 2-0 against the Chiefs, and like 1-1 against the Chargers, but somehow the Chiefs also go 0-2 against the Chargers. There's the tiebreaker right there. Boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll be something weird like that. It's not going to be like the Broncos go 13-4 and the Chiefs go 12-5. I would see them both having the same record.
That division is just crazy. And then you got the NFC East, who's just Cowboys, Washington, Eagles, Giants.
Yeah, Cowboys at minus as they should be, but
What are they?
minus 125. All the AFC divisions are minus except the NFC West. The Rams are plus 150 as the favorite. The Bucks are the most favorite. The Bucks are the most favorite team in the NFL. What?
What's Green Bay?
Minus 180. The Bucks are the most favored team in the NFL to win their division. Obviously, with this condition of the Saints, Panthers, and the Falcons, the Bucks are minus 320 to win their division.
320.
Wow.
Jesse, what do you think of the Steelers' additions, or what they should do going into this season? Do you want to see a quarterback, or would you like to see them address maybe the offensive line, or address the run, maybe the run stop and the issues that this team had on defense?
I like how you said it. I think offensive line and stopping or building up that run blocking. The quarterback, I think Trubinsky, I really hope he can come in and do well and shine some light, but you never know. I think an offensive line is going to really help him, or whoever our quarterback is, excel at that part. Do you think they're going to make more moves, Huff? Like, do you think much more is coming down the line, or do you think it's...
I mean, I have heard that from a lot of people on the radio and ESPN that Steelers feel if necessary, they will move up to get Malik Willis. It seems like he's their guy, but obviously we've heard scenarios like that before, and then the Steelers come out and just draft some linebacker you've never heard of. But I'm rooting for us to get Malik Willis. I definitely want him to be my next quarterback. With me, I'm the one that I defended the Trubisky signing. I was okay with them bringing in Trubisky. I thought it was a good deal for us. I still think it is, bringing in a young rookie quarterback to have a guy, not necessarily like Trubisky's the Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he's been around the league a couple years now. Just a guy like that to show Malik Willis the ropes of like the side of handling yourself as a professional and stuff like that. People forget Malik Willis did transfer from Auburn. He was an SEC guy, highly recruited to the SEC, but transferred to Liberty, lit it up, obviously. But I'm definitely excited to see this kid play.
I think it would be awesome to have both the choice between both of them. Like you said, if one excels at training camp, to take that one over the other. But I would love to have both of them. Like you said, Huff, I think that'd be the best option. Who knows? I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that'd be a really good quarterback battle going into camp with. Like, obviously, you're not expecting to win the Super Bowl with that condition, or obviously those quarterbacks being a rookie, and obviously people don't have high hopes on Trubisky. But I'm really excited for this offseason in the next era of the Steelers. Obviously, I appreciate everything Big Ben did, but I'm kind of ready for the next page. And like I said, I just want a new style. I want a mobile quarterback. That's all I want. I wanted Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson. I want Malik Willis now. He's my next guy.
It's going to be a whole different offense if we get a mobile quarterback.
I'm not stopping until I get my mobile quarterback. Alrighty, and another big NFL offseason edition made by a prominent team, now the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams, bringing in the Chicago Bears. Number one wide receiver Allen Robinson signed a 3-year, $45 million deal with the Los Angeles Rams coming in. Obviously, I would assume he knows he's going to be the number 2 behind Kupp. This wide receiving core is now getting better, if you ask me, with Kupp and Robinson. You got to think I think they're still looking to try to keep Odell. I think Odell is going to be waiting towards the end of free agency, being with the injury he had. He's going to wait to sign a deal. I think it's going to be a team-friendly deal on the lower side of the money. He might be trying to run this thing back with LA. The team still looks good. Not too many losses, but I think if the Rams are able to keep Odell Beckham Jr., having Kupp, Robinson, and OBJ, that's a disgusting wide receiving core. But obviously we know that the Rams traded Robert Woods to Tennessee, so they do not have Robert Woods anymore. We forgot to mention that one as well.
Yeah, well, they didn't really have him last year either.
I was gonna say, but he was injured last year, and that's why they brought in Odell.
Yeah, I think this is a good move for both for both Allen Robinson and the Rams here, because Robinson hasn't really been able to be himself. I feel like he hasn't been able to shine the past few years. He was on that Jacksonville team, and then he went to the Bears, and then he just hasn't been able to really put up the numbers that he used to in 2017 when that Jacksonville team was actually a good contenders. But I think going to the Rams here, he's got Matt Stafford. He's got other options on the team to take all the commotion around him away. So I think he can put up some good numbers this year. I think it's a good ad for them.
Yeah, and Jesse mentioned Stafford gets the new deal. Everyone on the Rams, you heard McVay say, let's run this back. It looks like Aaron Donald is coming back, so it looks like the LA Rams are going to be looking to run this thing back. Obviously, we know they lost Von Miller going to Buffalo. It's a big loss, big addition for Buffalo, getting a big pass rusher on the defensive side of the ball. So a lot of additions this offseason in the NFL. I was talking to my cousin the one day. I told him this offseason kind of reminds me of like an NBA offseason with all these big name moves going to different.
Yeah, you don't
teams.
see this often in the NFL.
Exactly. It's like all these big trades, Devontae, this Aaron Rodgers drama. This is now 2 years in a row. It's going to happen next year. So, but all the big Russell Wilson, all these huge trades, Tyreek Hill. You can go on and on. That's just trades. There's not usually big time trades in the NFL, but it's been a crazy offseason. I'm definitely excited for the rest of it, and as we look forward, I already can't. As I say every episode, I can't wait for football. So. Yeah, let's look ahead at some of these NHL. Obviously, the trade deadline came and went this past Monday. Let's look ahead at some of these additions that some of these NHL teams made at the deadline, maybe to try to make a push. Some of these teams making additions to try to add to their lineup to make a run at the Stanley Cup or a deep run in the playoffs. The other teams obviously trying to sell off, maybe look towards the future with a disappointing season. So um, we'll start right ahead with our teams because they're right off the top of my head. Penguins went out and got Rickard Rakell off the Anaheim Ducks, giving up Zach Aston Reese and Dominic Simone, and I believe a draft pick or two. I think that's a really good addition for the Penguins, getting a skilled player to put in the wing and on the second, even third line if he's having a tough night. But I definitely think the Penguins are, gearing up to have another nice playoff run. We've been saying that. A little bias coming out of my mouth being a Penguin fan, but I watch this team every night. They look really good, but obviously I know there is a lot of other talent in just the Eastern Conference, but also the whole NHL. But Mackie, your New York Rangers made a couple of additions. We know that we talked about Patrick Kane last week going to the Rangers. Obviously, we see that did not happen, but you guys brought in Justin Braun. You brought in Andrew Kopp off the Winnipeg Jets. Two big additions, in my opinion, for the Rangers. We know they had the disappointing game last night. We talked about that, but looking ahead at this Rangers team, do you see those additions? Is that something you're excited about? I think I see Kopp as a very skilled player, and I think he has the ability to score big goals in the playoff series.
Yeah, I think Andrew Kopp was definitely the biggest ad that we had at this deadline. We also got Frank Vatrano from the Panthers, which I don't know why Panthers would give us him. We're both pushing for the same thing right now, but
It was a money deal for them to get Giroux.
is that why?
Yeah, because they had to pay. Well, the Flyers are paying half of Giroux's salary, but Florida obviously still had to clear up some space. Vatrano probably not making a ton of money. They still had to clear. I think I saw Giroux makes like $7 million, maybe more. I don't know. I don't know why I thought I saw $7 million, but I know the Flyers are for sure taking half of whatever Giroux makes. So the Panthers definitely had to clear up some space. So they probably sent you guys Vatrano. Would you send back a pick?
I don't even know. Yeah, I think a pick or two.
Yeah. So it was just a straight money move.
Yeah, and then we got. I think Andrew Cobb would be real good for us. We've just been kind of disappointing at times this season. Our schedule coming up was pretty light, and I wanted to go on a bit of a winning streak here, but you lose in Jersey. And after we beat the Lightning and the Hurricanes back to back. You lose to Jersey. This doesn't make any sense.
That's just how it goes. Sometimes you beat those high level teams. We see it with a lot of these teams. I've seen it with the Penguins. They go to Montreal and they can't score a goal, but the Avalanche will come here and we'll win 5-1. It's just super frustrating, but that's just how hard the NHL is to pick and call. But that's what makes it so exciting is that any team can win on any given night in the NHL. It's nothing like the NFL where you kind of have a good idea of who's going to win the game. Obviously, with refs aside in the NFL, but
One game a week.
Yeah, exactly. There's definitely been a couple other big moves. I'm going to look up the official list, but back any right off the top of your head that you want to talk about? Obviously, Giroux. We can talk about Giroux.
Yeah, what was that? There's a few other ones.
I got a couple.
Marc-Andre
Fleury to Minnesota. I like that. I don't like Talbot. I think Talbot. I don't know. He's real shaky for a team that wants to make a playoff push.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like every time I bet on Minnesota, they lose, or bet against them, they win, and they have a really good record. So I just kind of stopped touching their games. But another trade that I have pop up, I'm pulled up a list of them. Max Domi. It seems like he's starting to bounce around a lot, but Max Domi is going to Carolina. Columbus gets back Aiden Greshik and Igor Korshkov, a forward and a defenseman. Florida gets a 6th-round pick, a little 3-way trade. So Max Domi now on another team. Let's see here. Any other big ones going to pop up? And here's the Andrew Kopp deal. Rangers getting Andrew Kopp and a 6th-round pick. Winnipeg getting Morgan Barron, 2 conditional 2nd-round picks, and a 2023 5th-rounder. Derek Brassard headed to Edmonton. Derek Brassard headed to Edmonton, back to Philadelphia, getting a 4th-round pick. The official trade was Pittsburgh receiving Rickard Rakell, Anaheim getting Zach Aston Reese, Dominic Simone, a prospect, and a 2022 2nd-round pick. Another good one for the Rangers, Tyler Mott, nice little penalty killer from the Vancouver Canucks, going back as a 4th-round pick. So definitely the Rangers addressing issues that they feel they have, kind of trying to get their pieces before the playoffs and see what they can do. Obviously,
Yeah, they're trying to go all in, which they should. We have the team this year. We have the goaltending.
I was gonna say
This
you have
team gets
it.
hot.
Just all that matters is you have the hot goalie.
We have, yeah. I mean, he's been a little shaky recently, but at the end of the day, he's the most trustworthy goalie in the NHL, in my opinion. So
Yeah, him and Vasilevsky.
yeah, I was gonna say Vasilevsky too.
It's just the fact that someone brought up a point today on Spittin' Chicklets, the fact that Vasilevsky has never lost back-to-back playoff games.
That's insane. Yeah, that team's also won back-to-back Stanley Cups. So
I think it was Whitney said that. He was like, sorry, he literally said, he was like, sorry, Rangers fans, but until Shesterkin doesn't lose back-to-back playoff games or something, like, it's just
for
like,
4
obviously,
years.
yeah, exactly. It's like, obviously, like, that's so hard to do, and the team that he's on with the superstars, but, it's just so tough. They're obviously the 2 greatest goalies in the NHL right now, but I think it's tough to say whoever gets hot. It would be crazy if somehow you two played each other in the playoffs.
We're probably gonna. It's very possible a first-round matchup.
Yeah. That goaltending match, I'd bet the under every single fucking game in that series.
Yeah, it'd be 5 at some points.
Yeah, it literally would just
in
be
the
5.
playoffs? In the playoffs, it'll probably be 5 at almost every game.
Yeah.
If that happens. This, we're both of us are also catching up to the Hurricanes.
Yeah, Hurricanes been shaky lately.
So, the Mets still up for grabs.
Yeah,
All 3 of
definitely.
us. You guys gained a game on us, or 2 points on us last night, which is
We just got
brutal.
we got a point tonight, and hopefully
Yeah.
gonna get another here. Sitting in overtime right now, 3-3, 3 minutes left.
Yeah, you should have.
The Metro is so tight.
Yeah, the Metro is so tight.
Yeah, no other division is like this. Look at the other divisions; it's nothing like this.
Nothing
Maybe the Atlantic, but not really.
not as close.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as compact and that many teams making a push for 4 spots.
Every team that makes it in the East is going to have 100 points.
That's crazy.
I've never seen that before.
That is honestly, that's very realistic that happens.
It's it's going to happen. Caps have 80 points with 17 games left. They need 20 points in 17 games.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just any team can beat anybody in the playoffs. We've seen it 1,000 times. We've seen Columbus sweep. Who would they sweep? Tampa? That was like 3 years ago. Remember when Columbus swept Tampa like 3 years ago?
Yeah.
First round, Tampa was favorites.
Yeah. That was, I found out today also, that year, there hasn't been a favorite. Colorado is about as favorited as Tampa Bay was that year, but not like, I think Colorado right now is like plus, I don't know what they are going into the.
I think they're like 400.
I think they went low. I think they're in the 3s now. I think they're 390. 400. So yeah, I think this time when that season when the Lightning lost to Columbus in the first round, they were under 400 or 390 or something. So someone said like there hasn't been a team as favorited as that Tampa Bay team as this Colorado team, obviously being right there. So and that team lost in the first round. So I'm not saying anything that I see this Colorado team losing in the first round, but you brought that point up, so I just thought I'd say that because I heard that today.
Igor is minus 400 to win Vezina right now.
What is he to win the actual MVP?
Plus 300.
Who's the favorite, Matthews? No, 300?
Yeah, Igor's plus 300. He's in second.
To win the Hart?
Austin Matthews. Yeah.
On FanDuel, it goes Matthews plus 150.
It says Matthews plus 160 on DraftKings.
And for FanDuel, it goes Matthews plus 150, McDavid plus 350, Shesterkin plus 700.
Bro, Shesterkin's plus 300 on DraftKings, and then McDavid's plus 450.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
To see the difference in the books.
That is insane.
If I bought a Shesterkin future on DraftKings and I saw this on FanDuel, I'd be pissed.
I'd be so pissed. If you're gonna grab one, you should definitely grab it on fucking FanDuel, though.
Yeah. Do you think you can do it? When's the last time?
Nah, I think
not with the run
he
he's
hit his
on right
peak in
now.
the season. What?
Not with this run he's on right now.
Yeah, he's got pulled in two games in the last like 3 or 4 starts.
Matthews is going to lock it up. He's earned it. He's been honestly the best player.
Yeah, he's there. Orange Cider's minus 120 for the Calder.
Yeah, I said last week getting him at plus 100 is free money.
Yeah.
Me being a Red Wings fan, I'm so excited for the future of this team. They're going to be so good the next couple of years.
You guys said it, NHL coming down to it. 17, 18 games left here.
Let's look ahead. Obviously, like I said, this past weekend we had the first 2 rounds of March Madness. This weekend we have the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 games. Let's look ahead at some of those games. I have my bracket pulled up. I don't know if you guys want to pull yours up. We can kind of go through each of these individual games, see who each of us have, just kind of a sake of conversation, and kind of make a couple points on why we like each team. Maybe make a Final Four pick. Maybe moving on from here. What do you think?
I think we should talk about it, and then we can each give like our own Final Four and then our own winner.
Yeah, I like that. Alrighty, we'll start up top. We're going to have first game, or not necessarily first game, but top game on the bracket in the West. We got Gonzaga and Arkansas. I have Gonzaga winning this game. They are a team that I see in the Final Four and national championship game, so I have them beating Arkansas. That's nothing against Arkansas. I was kind of riding Arkansas all regular season, but I think their season comes to an end here against Gonzaga. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, Arkansas is a team that I've bet on the entire year. They won me a lot of money, but Gonzaga is just too good at this point. The only team I can really see beating Gonzaga is Kansas, and they can't see them until the championship. So
yeah,
I like that spread though. Plus 9.5 for Arkansas.
I haven't looked at any of the spreads for the Sweet 16 yet.
It's a lot of points.
Yeah, it's just Timmy and Holmgren.
I absolutely love Gonzaga to win this game, but Arkansas is definitely going to cover.
What about Duke, Texas Tech? Who do you got winning that one?
I got Duke.
Just because of Krzyzewski?
No, I just think Duke matches up in that game. I think Banchero has a nice game, but I do have Duke losing the next game to Gonzaga.
This is a good matchup for Duke, I will say. Texas Tech is very reliant on their defense, and Duke is very offensive heavy. So, good offense beats better defense.
Yeah. So I think Duke moves on and then loses to Gonzaga in the Elite 8.
All right, what about Arizona, Houston?
Arizona and Houston. I have Arizona moving on.
I could see Houston winning this game. Houston really surprised me last week, or last game. Who did they play again? Oh, Illinois. They blew them out.
Yeah.
Houston looks good. Houston does not look like a 5 seed. They're more like a 2 or a 3 seed. This should be a really good game.
Yeah.
Arizona didn't look their best last game against TCU, so they got lucky, honestly.
Yeah, I'm excited for this game. I have Arizona. And we'll look at the other game in the South right now, real quick, before we say who we like in the next one. But we have Michigan and Villanova, 11 seed versus a 2 seed. Who do you have moving on? I like Villanova.
Yeah, I see Michigan's run come to an end here. I've been wrong a few times about Michigan already, but Villanova's just too experienced. You got Colin Gillespie. My bad. He's in his 5th year. He's too good. He's really good, and I really hate him, but he's really good. So I think Villanova should definitely move on here.
Did you see the meme where it was like, has anyone ever seen that Ryan Giacono and Colin Gillespie in the same room?
Who's that?
The dude that passed the ball to Chris Jenkins when they won the national championship, the point guard.
Oh.
They were like, have you ever seen these two in the same room? And it's pictures of them. It's so funny.
That's funny.
It's like Villanova stays relevant by just cloning their players.
He really is he just a guy that never leaves college. He's like Ron Baker.
Yeah. Let's move on to the East Division. We got North Carolina and UCLA. I like this game a lot, but I like UCLA to win this.
This is going to be a really good game. I mean, North Carolina, they're running right now.
I was gonna say this is a very toss-up game. Part of me thinks North Carolina. If North Carolina wins this game, they go to the Final Four.
Yeah, I don't think Purdue has it to get there, and I obviously don't think St. Peter's should be in the Final Four. But I think North Carolina, if they win this game, I think whoever wins this game is going to go to the Final Four. I think it'll be really close. North Carolina, dude, they're rolling right now. That big white guy down low, he's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. UCLA is pretty good too, though.
Juzang, Tiger Campbell.
Yeah, they got names. It'll be a toss-up, It'll be a good game.
That is going to be a good game. That one's Friday.
And then we got Purdue, St. Peter's. This is where I think I see St. Peter's run come to an end.
I really want St. Peter's here.
I think everyone's rooting for them, but
I
Jaden Ivey,
really
dude.
hope they make it happen.
Jesse's the biggest St. Peter's Peacock fan.
Let's go,
Dude,
Peacock.
Who's not a St. Peter's fan right now? You see that guy, that white kid, the one white kid on the team?
Dougie Dirt.
He got an NIL deal with Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's sick.
Yeah, crazy what this tournament does for you. You win a few games.
Yeah, I agree though. I think Purdue wins this game. Don't count St. Peter's out to cover though.
No, definitely not. This could be a good game.
Does anyone have the spread on that?
It was 9.5, I think.
Oh, they can cover that.
12.5.
I love
Oh, they can cover that.
I love
That's crazy.
12.5.
I like it too. I don't know. We'll see. It could also be a 40-point game.
I'm dying with the Peacocks.
We'll see. All right, next up.
You know you're gonna have those idiots that take St. Peter's plus 610 money line, but if it hits,
I mean, you had those idiots that probably took him plus 1,700.
yeah. I wish I was one of them.
Yeah. Well, I had Kentucky going pretty far, so it wasn't
I'd have
me.
been the Final Four.
I had him in the championship in one of my leagues, or one of my brackets. All right, Kansas Providence. What do you think?
I like Kansas here.
Dude, I love Providence, but Kansas is just too good.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out, they won the hardest conference in college basketball. They're rolling right now. They're on. I don't see many teams beating them.
Yeah, I think Kansas, obviously, with what's going on in the other side of the Midwest bracket, with the other game being Iowa State and Miami, I think Kansas wins this game against Providence and then beats Iowa State or Miami.
Yeah, I actually had Miami going into the Elite Eight and losing to Kansas. So
There was a lot of people that picked Miami. I had them losing.
Dude, Miami was not a 10 seed. Miami was good. I bet on them all year. They're so good. I knew they were going to come to get this far. And now they're going to win again. They're not going to lose to Iowa State.
Iowa State's been... Dude, what's crazy is the turnaround Iowa State had. They had 2 wins last year.
Yeah, that is crazy. They had 2 wins last year?
Yeah.
Damn. Still got 3 Big 12 teams in it.
Yeah. Only 1 Big 10, Michigan. Is Purdue Big 10 or are they SEC?
Purdue's Big 10. Should have 4. Baylor should be in it, but...
Who's your Final Four?
All right. Out of the Midwest, I got Kansas.
I like
Out of the South,
that.
I'm gonna Kansas. Out of the South, I'm gonna go with Houston. I think they come out. I think they beat Arizona, and then Villanova's not gonna beat Houston. I don't think it happens. And then out of the West, I got Gonzaga. And then out of the East, I'm gonna go with UCLA. I think they come out of the East here. I think they get this win, and then they move past Purdue. Then I'll go with Gonzaga, Kansas final. And then I don't know. I'm gonna say Kansas wins this one. I'm gonna say Gonzaga blows it again.
Yeah,
But
it's definitely
that's just a
possible.
prediction.
They're known to do it when they get there.
I think Gonzaga is a better team. I guess you could say Gonzaga is a more skilled team. I don't know. This Kansas team's really good, and they've proven it all year. It's hard to bet against them.
Yeah. I'll give you mine. Coming out of the West, I have Gonzaga as well. I have them beating Duke in the Elite Eight to move on to the Final Four. In the East, fucked up this part of my bracket. I had Purdue and UCLA both in the Sweet 16, and I did not have North Carolina or St. Peter's, obviously. But in this spot, I had Baylor and Kentucky going on to the Elite Eight. But in this situation, I'm going to go with North Carolina going on to the Final Four. But it kills me to say that against UCLA. We said that we like whoever wins that UNC and UCLA game, but I'm gonna go
Definitely.
with North Carolina. It would be as crazy as it would be to see North Carolina versus Duke in the Final Four, and maybe North Carolina knock out Krzyzewski in his last season. But I do like Gonzaga. I'm gonna go North Carolina. I'm going to go Arizona out of the South. I have them in the national championship in my bracket. I'm going to ride with them. And then I'm going to go with Kansas, the skill team. I do like them. So I'm going to go Arizona beats Kansas in the Final Four, and Gonzaga beats North Carolina. And I have Gonzaga winning the national championship over Arizona.
Arizona, okay. Yeah, definitely possible. This thing can go any which way right now. A lot of teams that are worthy of winning this tournament this year.
Arizona tomorrow night is only a 1.5 point favorite over Houston.
I think that's a really good matchup. I think they could definitely lose that game, but
I think
whoever wins that game is gonna come out of that.
Yeah, I feel the same way about that as I do about North Carolina, UCLA. Jesse, who do you have?
Honestly, Gonzaga, probably I hate to say it, but probably Purdue.
You like Purdue?
I don't love them, but I don't love UCLA. I don't love North Carolina.
Purdue's definitely good enough.
They
I
are.
just don't see it.
They are. They're obviously the most favored to win this game, so they're going to should be at least in the Elite Eight.
Right. Correct. On the other side, can't take out Kansas. And then give me Arizona. I think Arizona is going to be up there, and I think it's going to be a big matchup of a lot of the one seeds. I'm saying Arizona and Kansas and
Yeah, I said
Gonzaga.
all three of those too. I didn't realize all three of those were one seeds until you just said that.
Yeah, which how often does that happen? But I think it might be Gonzaga's year.
Do you have Gonzaga versus Kansas?
Yeah, honestly, Gonzaga versus Kansas.
So you have Kansas beating Purdue, Final Four.
Yeah, without a doubt on that one.
I just think it would be crazy if Duke gets North Carolina. So if Duke somehow beats Gonzaga.
I just don't see it happening. Duke's, I think Duke's a little overrated this year.
I've said it all year, dude. My most confident bet of the college basketball season so far was Virginia Tech in the ACC championship. I love that. I love that game. I've been betting. I had North Carolina in Krzyzewski's last game at Cameron. There's been a lot of games where I've bet against Duke taking their or the other team's spread, and it's been very good for me. But let's see what's the spread tomorrow. Duke +1 against Texas Tech. Do you like that, Mackie?
I don't know.
All these spreads tomorrow are so tight.
Gonna be good games, dude.
I can't wait.
I know, I'm excited.
Starts at 7 with Gonzaga, Arkansas. You guys like Arkansas plus 9.5 in that?
I do. Gonzaga hasn't covered a spread yet.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I like Arkansas there with the points, but I do think Gonzaga wins the game. Obviously, we've said that. Michigan, Villanova -5.
Yeah, I think they cover that 5 point spread.
I do too.
I think it gets away from Michigan at the end. I think it make it like 11 to 13 point game.
Yeah. Texas Tech, Duke. Texas Tech -1. Who do you like? I'd take a money line here. I'll tell you the money lines. Texas Tech -118. Duke -102.
For now, I'm gonna say I'll say Duke on the money line.
I actually like the over in that game. 137. I think both teams are able to score with. I know Texas Tech has the good defense, but I think Duke's able to score, and I think Texas Tech is able to put up points as well on Duke's lack of defense. So,
yeah, they do have a pretty trash defense.
I do like the over in that game. Sitting at 137.5.
I'll agree with you on that one.
I like that, Huff.
I think we could be looking at that for a pick tomorrow night. I do really like that over. I as everyone knows, we don't usually touch over-unders, but when I like one, it's usually for good reason. Next game tomorrow night, I'm just putting together a little 4-leg parlay to see what we're looking at out of the 4 games tomorrow. And then we got Houston, Arizona. Mackie, you like Houston?
I do. I really like Houston here. Doing this.
I was going to say, would you take the +1.5 or would you take the +105 money line?
If anything, I would make it +2. I would just buy a half point, but I'll probably just take the money line.
Yeah. That's another game. Well, +1 or over under sitting at 145. It's tough, a little higher over under, but it's tough.
Dude, Arizona scores 80 points every single game.
I was gonna say it's another game. I like the over there.
Look at you, Huff, talking about overs.
Yeah. If I like them, I like them. Definitely, I like that Duke Texas Tech over a lot more though.
Yeah, I like that. I like that as well.
I like Villanova -5 a lot too. I think those could be 2 picks we're looking at for tomorrow. Stay tuned to the Instagram.
March Madness Sweet 16 is here. Elite 8, Final 4 coming down to it. We'll be reviewing that next week. Super excited for that. Super excited for the NHL playoffs. A lot of good stuff coming down the wire for the NFL. That's all I got. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week. Take it away, boys.
Thanks for listening. Another week in, another week out. Like we said, a lot going on in the NFL free agency. NHL trade deadline came and went. Looking ahead, we got NHL playoffs coming up, NBA. As you said, we got Sweet 16, Elite 8, college basketball this weekend. A lot going on. Stay tuned to the Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that, per usual. But hand it over to Mackie before we get out of here. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, boys, another week gone. Good conversation. A lot going on in sports right now. We got March Madness coming to a close. We got NHL playoffs coming up, NBA playoffs coming up. We'll start talking about that as the playoffs come around. Yeah, that's really it.
And that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Hit the Books Podcast. Be sure to check us out on our various social media platforms. Instagram at hitthebooks.pod, Twitter at hitthebooks_pod, website at hitthebookspod.com for all the latest on Hit the Books. And be sure to always study hard.
Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.